Frosty from Mog Talk has now spoken. Let's go over and let's talk about what the future of the world first race for Final Fantasy XIV, what it's going to look like. What's up, everyone? I'm Eagle Falcon, and a couple weeks ago, I went ahead and put out a video regarding my thoughts on the world first race, and I came out and said that I didn't think that the mod, or the plugin actually, that I should explain more things, shouldn't I? Okay, let's start from the beginning. All right, so Final Fantasy XIV just had their world first race of Futures Rewritten Ultimate. All right, the race lasted like 3 days. I would say about a good solid 3 days. At the beginning of Tuesday, ended Thanksgiving night into Black Friday morning, in fact. All right. However, before the race truly ended, one team did finish first, and that was the team known as Grind. Grind is a JP off stream team. So what they do is that there was a huge production put on by Echo. Echo worked with Mog Talk. Mog Talk used to have kind of a communal broadcast going, but even before then, the guy who ran it, Frosty, would go through Reddits and whatnot, gather all the information for the race, and just kind of have one centralized location for it. And the whole thing just kind of grew from there. And, you know, now we're going on who knows how many years. How many years would that be? They apparently started in Eden. Brain. Like 6 years? Something like that? 5 years? I don't know. It probably says in the letter that I'm intentionally stalling. But anyway, Grind was finished first. And from the outside looking in, all we knew was that yet another team that we knew nothing about and saw no progress of declared world first. And all we had for proof on the outside looking in was, in fact, just a few screenshots. Eventually, a screenshot surfaced from them that had a red dot. This red dot is evidence of a plugin that at the time I made my first video that I didn't know the name of the plugin. I picked the wrong day to record, huh? Anyway, I did not know the name of the plugin at the time. I do now know what it's called. I'm not going to mention it because I don't like giving tools like this. I don't like getting the name out there because as other people were talking about other plugins, I started exploring what was out there, and it's just like, oh no, just no. I now have this knowledge. I don't want to know this stuff exists. I don't want to know about fully automated bot tools that I now know exist. Hate that. Do not want. But after now learning about this tool and looking a bit more into it, my previous statement where I said that I didn't think because all we knew about at the time was that all the plugin did was just put a dot in the middle of your character and show your true hitbox. Because in FF14, your character hitbox is not the size of your character. It is a small little pixel in the middle of it, as though you were playing Toho. Well, this knowledge alone actually is very beneficial. I would argue even more beneficial than just having the plugin and cheating, just because a lot of the AoEs, their size and when they hit is not what you always think it is, because the snapshotting can always be different from attack to attack to attack. So it's far better to just practice and just get used to this sort of stuff rather than, ooh, I have a dot in the middle of the screen, I can get banned in any minute. Ooh. I have since learned that this tool does have a lot more capability in addition to showing when things are safe, how other people are doing. And yeah, no, this tool be sent to dungeon. Absolutely sent to dungeon. So the previous video I said that I don't think it's that bad. They could technically be considered world first, but we don't have a VOD, we don't have logs, and now we don't have screenshots because they deleted them all. Now knowing more about what it can do, no, they're cheaters. Just straight up. Not even like they technically cheated, but it's like the same kind of criminality as jaywalking. It's not that bad. Nope, Dungeon, you go. It would not surprise me at all if members of Grind are facing GM action at this point. So that's one thing I want to correct. Now, Frosty here puts in a major letter, and I was going to go ahead and read this whole thing verbatim, but I just rambled for 6 minutes, and I have a finite amount of time on this earth. I also pre-read this a little bit. Now, he starts off by going over the amazing things that this particular world first race brought. They raised $20,000 for Children's Hospital, which, good stuff. All in all, you can't complain with that at all. They worked with Echo for the first time, which is a professional kind of esports broadcasting thing. I don't know. I'm the last person to ask about esports, but I've heard of Echo. I know that they have their own esports team, and I know they put on a fantastic production. And for the world first race, their production was top notch. When they were on the screen, it was very well done. And when they weren't, it was just like the good old days with Mog Talk. It was a fantastic partnership. I love it, and I'd love to see more of it in the future. Now, they wanted to go ahead and talk about a couple of things. First off was the fact they removed Grind. Now, originally, when ranking the team, they were sent an unlisted VOD of their clear from the leader. Scanning through the video, everything looked completely legitimate and had no initial reason to dismiss the team's claim. Later, after seeing the reaction of the community, had about one of the screenshots containing a red dot. Our team investigated further. I do love how Frosty just went from just some schmuck going through Reddit and just collecting the stuff because it interests him, to now he's just like, our team went through and investigated. Like, he's just got like a crack team of just like investigators at the ready to go inspect everything. That's gotta feel surreal. Now, part of this is also he probably just said like, oh yeah, we sent our team and it's just like me and Fred, or who knows, right? I have no idea the inner workings of Mog Talk. I just imagine it's either just a massive crack team of hacker mans just going like this, or just like him and his buddy Bill. I don't know. All right, but anyway, moving back onto it. At first, nothing's new, yada. The more our team looked into it, the more suspicious it was. Then I reached out personally to the account that posted it and the team leader. It was then confirmed that even while it was agreed upon the group would not use any third-party programs, one of their team members did download the program, which caused the red dot to appear under their character. At base level, again, it seemed rather harmless, just as I thought too. It's just a dot. It just shows what's in the middle. That's on its face. That's not anything major. However, the add-on can show and change colors based on whether you're safe, whether you're not, and also project this onto your allies as well. This sort of capability very quickly turns this from a very harmless little thing you can put on your screen to, no, you're cheating. Granted, this is all as it was explained to me. I have not went and downloaded the program. I want nothing to do with it. I may not be a great raider, but I'd rather be a mediocre Savage Raider than be a cheater. That is my opinion on the whole thing. Look at again. But the program used to make that happen had an arsenal of game-breaking tools, so I decided to make the call to disqualify them. I do truly believe they are a group of extremely skilled players, but it seemed to be the fair decision given the situation. And I agree with Frosty in this regard. I would 100% agree, especially after learning what I have about the tool. And again, I'm not mentioning the name of the tool simply because I don't want to give any more of a spotlight to it than it already is to all 17 people that are going to watch this. So Frosty then goes on, after the event, I had some time to reflect on everything for nearly a decade. Has it been that long? Whoa. For nearly a decade, I've been involved in tracking the clears of new difficult content for Final Fantasy XIV. Before me, however, the race still existed. I didn't create the concept of players wanting to be the first in the world to clear boss fights. The news of players clearing the first would show up on Reddit, Twitter, and other social media outlets. When I started tracking it, my goal was just to collect information from those outlets and rank them to provide a clear standing of teams. It wasn't much more in depth than that. I didn't do an analysis of what was a fair clear or not, just listened to what was reported and backed by what the community accepted was a legitimate clear. I never considered myself the person who determined what was cheating or not. I wanted that to fall on the community as it was their race. I actually want to add something to this too. As far as like plugins and mods and everything, this, like, we've known that these sort of tools exist and that they've been used for a while, but it was very, very hush hush. Like, no one ever wanted to talk about it. You never even spoke about it in code. Oh, no, 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 no. You never, ever, ever, ever spoke about this. However, recently, and I do mean very recently, like within the last like year or two, the amount of hush hush and the amount of kind of stigma around talking about it, even some of the more innocent add-ons, ones that just alter things cosmetically, that literally add no additional features to the game. Like, there were add-ons before that added like debuff timers before that was a thing, or add, oh god, what was another one? What are some of the other ones I've heard of? This is the problem with like talking about this without being like a big add-on user. This is what I get for being clean. Shaking my head. But like, you get what I'm talking about, right? There's ones out there that add like UI elements that are like kind of helpful. And then there's those that are just like, you're straight up cheating. Like Splatoon is one that is referred to a ton. I just said I wasn't going to go ahead and give a spotlight to any of them, and I just mentioned that one. But that tool specifically is known for adding AoE markers when they normally wouldn't be there, or give far more detail about what was good and what wasn't, rather than normally in the game you just see a marker and go, I gotta be about right here. I should be fine here. Okay, I'm fine here. Whew. You know, that sort of thing. You'd have that going on, right? But nowadays, like, people are almost brazen about it. And I think a lot of people know the tool that really got people to really just kind of like be open about it. It starts with an M, rhymes with hair. Yeah. It's the one that pretty much everyone talks about, and it's pretty much rampant in the role-playing community. But at the same time, that one doesn't really do anything in the game other than change things cosmetically. Things still function the exact same. You don't gain an unfair amount of information like with some of these rating tools. You don't gain any sort of advantage. You just see horrified nude creatures. I've seen stuff, man. I've seen screenshots, man. But I digress. But I think that one, where people could go ahead and see just how many other people were using plugins and mods and add-ons and sort of thing, I think that helped open up more and more people using these things that are still against TOS. That being said, do I think the RPer community is in danger? No, I don't think any of the... I don't... Like, Square hasn't said anything about this. Like, ever since Top, Square now no longer wants to even acknowledge any sort of world first. They want to just say nothing about it. It's just like, it's your thing. That's it. It's like we've now permanently disappointed Dad. It feels bad. But no, I don't think there's gonna be any kind of major mod crackdown. I think we are safe in that regards for a number of reasons. But this is about the world first race, not about mods. We can have a roundtable thing about that with a couple of people another day. Anyway, Frosty's letter goes on. Of course, as these years went on, the rating scheme has evolved. I said I wasn't going to read everything, and yet here I am doing it. Has evolved in the opinion on what is cheating and has changed within the community. I remember people reporting to me that teams were using tools to emulate having an ultra wide screen monitor. Let me interject. Emulate having so this is a weird one, because the game supports ultra widescreen monitors. Having an ultra widescreen monitor unironically actually does give you an unfair advantage in the game. Like, me with 3 normal widescreen monitors am at a disadvantage compared to someone playing on an ultra wide. They can see far more, like a lot more. It is shocking how much more they can see than I can with just a regular 16:9 at 1080, but it's color accurate. So yeah. Look, I call my setup a scrapyard setup for a reason. All right, don't judge me. You're gonna judge me anyway. So I mean, the concept of emulating a widescreen monitor, I can totally see that. And to be perfectly honest, it's still giving you information that exists in the game. It's just that you, for whatever reason, can't afford ultra widescreens. I can't afford ultra widescreens. I just got 3 monitors I paid $50 each for. Some people got to do that. So that one, I would honestly say that's fine, because you're not gaining information that nobody else couldn't get. Anyway, he continues. While it definitely gives an advantage, it was hard to declare that is cheating, because people with money to buy those monitors were getting the same thing. Exactly. Many situations started to come up as I needed to make a ruling on what was cheating. Again, I would try not to be involved in that determination and let the community stance on it hold. Now, this ended up causing like the few races before I really started getting involved. Like, I'll admit, I only really started getting interested in the world first races in 14 because ever since Abyssos, now I actually do raid Savage content. Yeah, I started in Abyssos. I don't know what was wrong with me either. So like having that knowledge, I'm now far more invested. And I remember like early on, there was a lot of concern about, oh my God, they hacks. It's like, we don't know that, but I digress. Moving on. We had situations where people were banned from the game using quality of life plugins, which later were features added to the game. There was one infamous situation with the Omega protocol where a zoom hack was used. Again, someone would argue wasn't too drastically different than today's ultra wide monitors can do. Let me interject. No, it was egregious. I'm sorry. The people who tried to say that the ultra wide monitors gave the exact same view as the zoom hack. No, no, because the zoom hack lets you see more. It let you see the whole arena. It let you see well out of bounds. It let you gather all the information. You could say, oh, well, there wasn't anything out of bounds anyway. You didn't know that, progging, did you? You didn't know if, like, next to Beetle Omega, there might have been another hand you needed to keep an eye on. Now we know, because we've solved top. At the time, we didn't. And that is an unfair advantage. In any case, unfortunately, once the box is open, though, it leaves doubt in the community's mind about the legitimacy of clears. If that program was used, what else could be there that isn't being shown? This is the core of the issue. This actually brings up one other thing that I've heard a lot of people mention in regards to plugins. I don't know how to test for this, but apparently a lot of plugins you can just somehow automatically hide on OBS. Unfortunately, I use a 2 PC setup, so I can't really test for that because OBS is literally just picking up my monitor display. So it doesn't matter how much overlay I have there, legitimate or not, it's going to see it all. But apparently if you're using single PC setups, OBS can in fact hide a lot of stuff there. I don't know the specifics of it. I would have to ask someone that's more in the know. That's not me. I am pure innocent bean. I think they bought it. All right, anyway. There are also programs that members in the raid community see as vital to the experience of the game. One that logs data from fights to help analyze gameplay. Yep, let's talk about ACT. Let's talk about ACT. ACT, for those who don't know, and I don't feel too terrible about talking about this tool. This tool I do know, but can never get functioning because I did not because I had a finite amount of time on this earth. What it does is that it logs the damage that you're dishing out, as well as it logs the damage of the party members you're with dishing out, and it is used primarily as verification of what was going on during fights, when people died, how people died. It is also used with an analyzer to give tips on how you can improve based on previous ones, which has been a very valuable tool for people to, trying to get into the high end in that sort of thing. You can say that's cheating because, oh, you're getting machine assistant instead of trying to learn naturally. I don't know. Is it cheating to have a machine tell you that you need to be casting more rather than your disgruntled raid leader telling you need to cast more? I think either way, I'm going to be lectured by something disgruntled. The only other problem, though, is that ACT, apparently, I don't know this for a fact. I have no idea how to set it up because I don't have ACT. Other people keep giving me their logs. But apparently it can also be used to give you unfair information during a fight, in addition to like when certain mechanics are coming up and storing and letting you know of what is coming up. So like, for example, there's like a cast bar that says spread or stack. ACT can remember that and tell you that later. Or is that another plugin? I actually can't remember. The point is that ACT can actually be used for far more than just logging. Like, that's one of the biggest problems, all right? Even though ACT is in fact a tool that really every single high-end raider says, yeah, no, that's vital. I need to make sure that I'm actually not failing at life. And it also helps us go ahead and take a look in the logs to see that, yes, Pictomancer is just the job to have in Futures Rewritten Ultimate, because there's so much downtime and Pictomancer is busted. Anyway, where was I at? All right. Ones that log data and help analyze gameplays. Ones that remove issues that come from latency, being able to weave in off global abilities. Here's my hot take. All right. I think these kind of tools, while not the most egregious hack in the world or the most egregious cheat in the world, is still a cheat. Like, I would put this in the world of cheating, like in the same sort of crime category as like jaywalking. You are getting yourself if we're gonna go ahead and go by like legal definitions, you are getting an unfair advantage in the game, etc., etc., etc. Just by this sort of thing. I would be careful, because you probably can be banned for that sort of thing. I don't care. You go play how you want. Anyway, as Frosty says, most would say these are harmless and a core function of raiding in FF14 today. While I personally don't use any add-ons in the game, nor do I advise people to use them, I understand why they are used. However, in the end, they still break the terms of service in the game. Big point right here. No matter when push comes to shove, that is the case. It's still against TOS. Square doesn't want us using them. They're still there. It's their game. I personally am more of the favor, pretty much exactly with Frosty here. You're better off just not using any, in my humble opinion. I've gotten so far cleared every single tier